Can everyone hear me fine? Awesome, fantastic. Well, my name is Mario Nunez. I am the Community Collaboration Project Associate with the Kenneth Young, and I'm happy to be partnering with the District 59. And I'm happy to here to talk about digital technology and online safety. And for a quick disclaimer, the views expressed in this presentation do not reflect the official policies of the Illinois Department of Human Services, Office of Adolescent Health, of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, nor does it mention trade names, commercial practices, or organizations imply endorsement by the U.S. government. Any statements expressed of those presenters do not necessarily reflect the views of the Office of Adolescent Health or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Again, I am with the Kenneth Young Center. We are a nonprofit organization that typically focuses on counseling for adults, children, families. We also assess stabilization linkage for adults and children for psychiatric crisis, all the way up to service coordination in home, services for the elderly persons, evidence-based prevention, intervention programming for teens and adults. And we are also located in the Elk Grove Village, Mount Prospect, Schaumburg, and Hoffman Estates. And if you want more information, please contact us at kennethyoung.org. And now, thank you all for attending this presentation. Today, we are focusing on 4 questions that likely will be answered throughout the presentation. Those are, why are we here? Why is it being talked about now? How has COVID impacted our usage of technology? And what would you like to get out of this? And just little quick facts. Did you know that YouTube is one of the primarily used platforms among ages of 13 and 17? Also, nearly all teens of 2022 have access to smartphones nowadays, all the way up to Twitter being one of the used platforms, social media platforms from ages 12 to 17, and more than half of those users are public. Also, 19% of teen users have posted things that they regret, including photos, videos, status updates, tweets, or comments. Only 18% of young adults claim they are comfortable with what their friends post about them online, and 32% say that the information about them online is what they choose for the public to see, meaning what they post online about them is not necessarily what they post, but what other people post about them. And with social media and internet connection, there are both positive and negative. The positive being 81% feel more comfortable connected with family, and 69% find it helps teens interact with more diverse groups of people, and 68% feel as if they have people who support them, and that is through connectivity of social media. And the negatives are 45% feel overwhelmed by all the drama that they hear on social media, feel pressures of posting stuff that they don't want, and 37 feel pressure to post something that they get a lot of likes and comments on. And then let's focus on the major trends and major social media platforms. These being the likes of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, and the likelihood and the comparisons of the 2014 to now. So we see the increases of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat, but also we see the great drop fall from Facebook, and that comes with any social media platform. The older it gets, the less likely teens will be going on it, and the more likely newer platforms will arise. And it's important for parents to be updated on what social media platforms are being used by teens nowadays. Now, social media and COVID. Americans spent an average of 82 minutes on social media in 2020, 7 minutes increase from 2019. And then according to the Leary Children's Hospital in Chicago, 63% of parents saw an increase in social media use in their children since the COVID pandemic. A majority of these parents believe they could negatively affect their mental health. So let's focus on trends and social media platforms. The big major social media platform is TikTok. These platforms are usually about short videos around 2 to 3 minutes long. And TikTok enables everyone to be creators, encourages them to share their passions, their creativities, the expressions from the videos. And it's one of the gateways for kids to be these so-called influencers. It's one of the first social media platforms that they post on. And what we need to know as parents is these songs and videos contains our iffy content. They're not very appropriate for kids. They're often use strong language or inappropriate acts. And with those inappropriate and songs and dances and acts that we see on TikTok, that comes with very often creepy comments. So oftentimes we hear songs or dances that are inappropriate. There are comments coming from adults or other students that are very creepy and very like sexualize these kids in like an inappropriate fashion. And with many social media, there comes with gaining followers and feeling important and wanting likes, views. And it's important for parents to understand that that is not what social media should be. That is not what kids' mindset should be. It should not be for the attention and affection of others and the likes and the comments of what social media presents. So next platform is Instagram. This is mainly a photo-based sharing social media platform where most of the popular features of the social media sharing, seeing, commenting, and photos. Instagram also lets you apply fun filters that makes you want to be creative, wants to create this sort of professional, artsy like filters and photos that we see all over Instagram. And then the main things that we want to focus on when it comes to Instagram are teens that are looking for likes. Again, we talk about this a lot. They are seeking for likes, for shares, for followers. This obsession with gaining people's approval on social media, which is something that parents need to talk about with their students. And then also public photos are a default. So when it comes to social media and their settings, it's also being aware of what other people can see. So in their settings, it defaults to public. And also with public, it also shows their locations. So when it comes to settings, be sure to track that. The default is always public. People don't dare to check their settings in most of these social media platforms. So online privacy and many times like public information are always leaked through Instagram. And then also with Instagram, there are direct messaging. So it is important to see who your kids connect to on a public message. And other times it can be people who are fake, who create fake accounts that they're directly messaging and they're not aware of. They think they're talking to a friend, but in reality, they're talking to a complete stranger. So it's also teaching kids that there are strangers out there and that stranger danger is a real thing online. And Snapchat, one of the most popular used among today. So Snapchat creators intended the app to be a fleeting image that will just be deleted forever. It's you click on it and it lasts like 10 seconds and they can't see it again. So that's the intention of Snapchat. It's for the creators to say that it takes away that fear of publicness, that the public cannot see those images because they're just gonna be deleted. And then the major takeaway from that platform is that the myth of the Snapchat going away forever is completely false. Nothing presented on the internet will be deleted. It'll always stay. And that be whether someone taking a screenshot of it. Snapchat also holds on to those images for at least 10 days. and they can retrieve it upon request. So it's important to be aware that Snapchat is never deleted. And also, important thing, many schools have yet to block it. It is something that's difficult for schools to block, or something that many schools are not aware of Snapchat. So it is important to be this police like outside of school and monitoring what they do on Snapchat. And with that, the idea of thinking that Snapchats will be gone forever promotes this risky behavior, which means, oh, I could post this because it'll be deleted within 10 seconds. No one's going to watch it. But that's never going to happen because Snapchats are always going to stay there. They're never completely deleted. So it's also to talk about students about that nothing that they post on the internet will be deleted or will be gone. It always stays on the internet. And then off to Twitter. Twitter is primarily a comment and based social media platform. It's for teens to share quick tidbits about what their lives are with their friends, keeping up with celebrities, and mostly a drama that they keep up with. So it's also monitoring that. So the three major factors that we see on Twitter is public tweets are known for the teens. So what that means is, again, checking the settings. Most people default it to public, and parents need to primarily check up on that so that way they're not posting anything that's revealing information about them or their parents or loved ones, and that no one can use their posts primarily like against them. And then updates appear immediately. So again, they can delete tweets, but because it's so readily available, many people within seconds can see that tweet. So they're never really deleted. And again, they could take screenshots of it and have that saved. And also, Twitter and mainly all these social medias are promotional tools for celebrities. So again, they're going to get caught up in these celeb dramas, these gossip tweets and Twitter feuds that they're going to keep up. So it's very important to talk to your student about the realities of social media. Most of these times they're being promoted by marketing teams, so it's addressing that as well. It's not this personal connection with a celebrity, this idolization with these celebrities, but more so with a marketing firm, and making sure that there are dangers to social media and Twitter especially. And we go off into YouTube. YouTube is still one of the oldest, one of the biggest social media platforms. Teens use it to watch entertaining videos, short clips from their favorite YouTubers, from their favorite channels. Predominantly now, kids aren't watching television anymore. They're just watching YouTube clips all day. So it's also keeping an eye off of that, as much as YouTube promotes as like a safety and filtering tools. It's important that you still monitor your kids and what they watch on YouTube. So YouTube is, again, one of the most common forms of media. So it's keeping an eye on that. And also, creators have creative freedoms when it comes to their content in their videos. So one creator can just up and do something else. And there's no monitoring tool if one creator decides to post an inappropriate video. They just get the news, and there's no way for YouTube to monitor it until it's too late or it's flagged days or hours later. And then again, with any social media, YouTube has comment sections that needs to be addressed and aware of when it comes to nasty comments, either be from strangers commenting about them if they post a video, or if they post a comment in a video and they're addressing those nasty comments to them. So cyberbullying is a major concern in the YouTube space. So it's always keeping an eye and a great attention to detail when it comes to your kids watching YouTube. And one of the up and coming social media platforms is Twitch. It is a live streaming platform that many teens go to see their favorite streamers completing engaging activities, and most commonly for the video games, fun live streams. So everything that you see on Twitch is live. So it's them playing primarily video games and then just interacting with the chat or with the other community that's watching it. So one of the major things that parents need to know is about the chat feature. It is a live streaming chat that's on the side of Twitch that often is not monitored because you have major streamers that engage with the chat and it flows so um, fastly that they cannot monitor what's happening on their comment section. Either they're either busy engaged with the video or the act that they're doing, that they're not paying attention to the chat, and some people can abuse it, whether that be saying hurtful things to the creator or hurtful things for someone in the chat. And with that, Twitch is a free platform, but it utilizes costly association with it. So you can subscribe to a Twitch streamer, which usually $5, and they could also gift um, the Twitch streamer or donate as much money as they want. So it's also keeping an eye on credit cards, on your money, that make sure your kids aren't accidentally giving the streamer, let's say, like $1,000 by accident. So it's also keeping an eye on that. And then again, Twitch is a live streaming service. So there's no way to block inappropriate streams. Anything happens, if anything inappropriate happens, people will view it. It is live and things happen. So it's important to talk to your students that, yeah, things happen, and trying to steer away from those type of Twitch streamers that might accidentally show inappropriate content. And then I want to bring it to everyone in the chat, everyone here. What platforms do you see your children using the most, and which platforms are you majorly concerned about? If there's anyone here that has any questions, or anyone in the live stream that has any questions? No? Yeah.
I'll go first. I think YouTube is definitely one that my kids are on all the time, and like you said, it really has become like a replacement for like other entertainment. Disturbing things is like the same thing like over and over and over, and then I start to monitor it. That's why I feel like the language slips through, like content slips through. So that's one that's kind of on my list. I'm also concerned about Discord, and I don't think that's like
Oh, no.
social media.
Yeah.
Define that. And then Snapchat, where both my kids have asked that we tried Discord, and it was a big fail.
Yeah.
Because what they were doing is the kids seemed to be playing like Roblox, and then they were trading Discord handles.
Yeah.
And then they were messaging people that they were like, oh, I'm talking to a 10-year-old kid in California. And it's like, well, I don't buy that. That's
Yeah.
you know, so it's like just monitoring how easy that is for them to offer that up and not understand the danger of like not talking to somebody you know in real life.
Exactly.
It's just like it can, and I don't think that they need to. They're like making a conscious decision to do that. I think they just get wrapped up in a game, and it just kind of spirals out of control. So it's just my personal experience.
No, yeah, and then Discord is an up and coming platform. It's like indirect messaging, so or like direct messaging. Yeah.
They don't need like phone service, right?
No.
So it's like texting but without a phone. So it's like, and they were even using like their like Chromebooks from school, using like our home internet, because once you get home, those sites aren't necessarily blocked.
Yeah.
You're blocked at the school level, but like not necessarily home. So it's just hard to be on top of all that.
No, yeah, and it's also addressing to the kids that, again, stranger danger. It's if you don't know them, then yeah, just being aware that who they're talking to might not be who they think they're talking to.
And they believe what people tell them.
Exactly.
They're too like young and naive to realize that you can't necessarily know who's behind another screen at the other end. And I think that's my biggest point of like trying to teach my kids that I don't think they get it. I think that's gonna be a constant battle as they're growing up. They don't really understand, like what you don't really know.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's a liar online. I mean, that's just the way I think about it as an adult, but I don't think they want to believe that people are telling them the truth.
Yeah, that comes with like every kid. They always assume like the greatest intention of anyone, but it happens so much, and especially with Discord increasing in popularity, especially with Twitch, um, always promoting Discord or always having that service with them. It's always important to discuss with your kids about the stranger danger policy and always not assuming that everyone who you've been talking to is your friend. So, any more questions or any more concerns about social media platforms? But Discord is another important one that we need to add, and for the future, we see that it's trending upwards with a lot of kids. So, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then I'll be more than happy to add that in the future. And then comes with any internet thing or social media platform, there comes benefits and risks. So the benefits of technology in teens, the first is easily accessing information and educating themselves, maintaining and develop social or supportive relationships. Also, all the way up to forming identities through self-expression, learning, talking with peers, also promoting their sense of well-being, finding themselves, finding their self-esteem within the internet, finding their group of uh, well-liked or well-informed individuals that they can relate to is also one of the major benefits of social media. But with that comes great risks. And the great risks are three major risks. That's content, conduct, and contact. Content risks for teenagers, this risk include coming across material that they find upsetting, disgusting, or essentially uncomfortable, especially if they encounter something accidentally, such as pornography, real or simulated violence, hate sites, terrorist sites, harmful generated content that promote drugs, self-harm, suicide, or negative body image. All the way up to conduct risks. Conduct risks include behaving inappropriately, harmful, or being the victim of this kind of behavior, such as cyberbullying, sexting, misusing people's passwords, people claiming false identities, having trouble regulating online time, which can develop into a major problem with internet use in the developing stages.
The internet and social media have changed the way children experience bullying. Now bullying can happen beyond the school gates. Anywhere and anytime, in the form of cyberbullying on social, gaming and instant messaging platforms. With the help of the Anti-Bullying Alliance and industry experts, we've created a hub of advice for parents to support children on how to deal with the issue. Here are 5 things you need to know about cyberbullying. 1. Cyberbullying can take place 24/7 and happens repeatedly on a range of apps, games, and devices. 2. As it's digital, it can reach more people than traditional forms of bullying and increase the chance that others will join in the bullying. 3. Unlike face-to-face bullying, children can't see the impact of their words, so even children who've never been involved in bullying can post or share something without thinking. 4. Although it's easy to keep the evidence, it can be anonymous, so it's harder to know who's behind it. 5. According to recent stats, it's growing and can consist of a range of actions from harassments and threats to exclusion, defamation, and manipulation. So, it's important to take it seriously and give children the tools to deal with it.
Right, and that was just a quick video on cyberbullying and what effects that gives to children, or what effects that happens to them, or what happens to others online. And then with that, I will continue with there's another video, and that's on content risks.
Just like adults, children may be at risk of having their online identity stolen or misused. It can be difficult to maintain a child's privacy, as they may not understand what information is safe to share online. Children can unwittingly reveal too many personal details, leaving them open to identity theft. A child's stolen identity may not be noticed for years and could result in blackmail, grooming, or bullying. Unexplained bills, emails from unrecognized organizations, as well as letters regarding government benefits or tax payments may indicate a stolen identity. It's great for your child to build relationships and share interests online, but it's important to talk to them about what could happen if they share too much. Talk about privacy and information you shouldn't share online. This includes their real name, address, phone number, school, and town in which they live. Encourage your child to think about which friends they share with. Are they likely to share this with others? A conversation with close friends is often open to all friends, or even everyone on the internet. If your child comes across a stranger, whether online or offline, they should avoid them and not reveal anything personal. Encourage them to stay anonymous where possible and use a username that is not their real name. Go through the privacy settings with your child for every social networking site and app they use. Agree with them what they'll share and with who. Check the privacy settings on the devices they use. Look out for location services, sharing of contacts, photos, calendars, Bluetooth sharing, microphone, video, and advertising settings. Search your child's full name in several search engines and see what information and photos are public. If you find any inaccurate comments or photographs that might damage your child's reputation, ask the website to remove them. Block pop-ups to help your child avoid downloading a virus that may harvest personal information. Make regular visits to online safety sites like CyberStreet, Think You Know, ChildNet, or Parent Info to keep up to date with possible issues. If your child's identity has been stolen, tell any affected websites about the problem. Your child should log in and change their password immediately. If they can't log in, contact the technical support department. Change any secret questions or other verification information sites use to identify users. Check with credit reference agencies for any unusual entries and for advice.
Yep. And then contact risk, like you said, is a major concern amongst all like parents. Um, Again, I feel like it's keep telling them that the there are strangers out there, that you are not completely certain on who they can trust on social media. And again, that could lead to predatory behavior all the way up to online scamming. So it's keeping a monitor like on what they do with the passwords that they have, with the information that they can access, whether it be credit card information, keeping a lock on that, and also other passwords that they might have or easily available to them. And also fun, did you know technical internet safety tools like filters are actually a risk among teens? You would always assume that it would just block all the inappropriate stuff, but in fact, it develops them into wanting to seek out these risks in the future, or a purposely or accidentally want to uh, enter these sites. So whether or not you think these filters are beneficial, they are indeed not. And then privacy, personal information, and personal safety. Always tell your student and explain why it is important to look at and choose appropriate privacy, location, and safety settings on every device, on every platform, not only on the device, but every social media site that they're on, any website that they heavily use. Always check the settings. And also remind your child not to give out their name, address, date of birth, identity information to people they don't know in person, and making sure that on the setting they don't have their locations on. Also, update the stranger danger device with your child as they move towards adulthood, come into contact with online dating, whether that be through, again, Discord. Keep talking that they may be strangers that you don't really know who they are talking to. And then other risks of social media and internet usage. One of the major ones that you see nowadays is trolling. That's people deliberately causing conflict. People think that it is funny, but it is, in fact, very harmful into their children's mental health and also causes major distress. Also, isolation. More and more kids are having their faces on their phones, on their computers, and creating this barrier between friends and family that also often leaves them with a sense of isolation. And also inappropriate material. Teenagers posting inappropriate pictures, content online, sharing such materials with friends that may humiliate themselves or others without them knowing. Also inappropriate relations, like we talked, content risks or contact risks, talking to strangers, always informing them that they don't know who they are, that maybe you're not talking to that 10-year-old friend, that they may be an adult on the other line, that you don't know who exactly that they're talking to. And I'll bring it out to everyone in the room. What impact do you see social media on kids' mental health? Yep.
These are definitely getting more aggressive. The more they use social media, everything, online, they're getting more and more aggressive.
Yeah, and that.
Behavioral problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that. Yeah, it's all through. Again, we bring it back to primarily the COVID and pandemic, where you see more and more kids online and more kids used to being online. So they don't know how to primarily behave outside of the internet surface and outside the internet interactions that we see now. So it is a major mental health concern that we see nowadays through the over intake of social media and over intake of the internet. So yeah, so that's one thing that we need to focus on and be aware of, that kids are not overly partaking in their phones and also the interactions that they see on the internet, and monitoring what they say and who they interact with. So the impact of social media on mental health. The heavy usage of social media is associated with poor mental health, and that has been conducted through the University of Pittsburgh, where a study of young adults suggested that heavy social media usage uh, were through heavy media users were 3 times more likely to be depressed than occasional users. And a Canadian study from the Center of Addiction and Mental Health that examined data from over 10,000 adolescents found that young people who use social media more than 2 hours per day were significantly more likely to rate their mental health as fair or poor compared to the occasional users. Again, that brings it up to the COVID pandemic, where more and more kids were uh, used to having social media more than 2 hours per day just because they were stuck at home and used to all the internet that they were subjected to. And then it also increases other mental health impacts, all the way up to impact on sleep, use a life comparing tool, and also choosing or chasing likes and posts, self-driven self-worth, and self-esteem. So how to talk about social media with your teen. Again, it's also the impact of seeking approval from online world that doesn't know them, or comparing them to other edited versions of people that they see online. So it's that drive to get likes, to get followers, that brings through social media. It's talking to them about that addiction that they need to be aware of, and also comparing them to other influencers online that they see, seeking this so-called perfection, addressing that these are heavily edited videos, heavily edited photos, that no one is really like that in real life, that they can't be compared, or has to stop comparing themselves to these social media influencers. And how social media has a potential to impact sleep and therefore their mental health. So more and more kids are sleeping with their phones and scrolling through TikTok or other form of social media and getting the lack of sleep. So it's very important to have that switch off from their phones and from the social media, because with lack of sleep becomes major, mental health repercussions with that. And then also remind them that social media is not the only way of being social, and encourage them to have more face-to-face interactions, whether it be with friends, whether it be with family members. Always have that time of social media usage and time for actual face-to-face interactions.
Online identity is the way we choose to portray ourselves online. Now, it should be a simple thing. However, the way we are offline isn't always the way we are online. Online identity allows us to showcase edited versions of our lives, highlighting features that we feel others value. So, when posting about an amazing holiday, for example, our post reflects not only what's important to us, but also what we believe others expect from us. Now, having an online identity can be liberating as it encourages self-expression and allows us to connect with other people. However, it can create a lot of pressure. Kids can hide aspects of who they are or try to live up to certain expectations in order to feel more accepted. And this can be detrimental to their own sense of self-worth and can impact things like body image and self-esteem. Parents should allow their children to express themselves online. However, it's important we offer support to help them navigate this. There are a few ways you can do this. Firstly, start a positive conversation around online identity. Have regular check-ins and discuss what your child's online identity means to them and how they feel it reflects who they really are. Secondly, it's important to speak about how and who they share their lives with online, making sure to touch on what they should and shouldn't share by discussing issues around safety and privacy. Thirdly, help them think critically about how online and offline influences can impact how they see themselves and the world around them. Get them to think about the intentions behind what people are sharing online. Your child's online identity is a self-expression of who they are, and often it evolves and changes over time. With your support, they can do this in ways that will benefit their well-being as they grow and as they develop.
And then just a quick reminder that teens need to know that once content is shared with others, they will not be able to delete it or remove it completely. That includes texting of inappropriate pictures or posts that they quickly do not want to intend to be directly to the public. And here's a quick resources. We actually used many of these resources that you saw. Those videos came from. All those videos came from internetmatters.org. It is a great resource for both children and parents, and that discusses online issues, guidance, and resources advice by age group, expert panels, research articles, and parent stories. So please use this as a great resource for both you and your child. And that again is internetmatters.org. And then just a final word, this comes from the Very Well Family Foundation. Remember that the goal of teaching digital citizenship is to empower the kids with the skills and knowledge that they need to navigate the world today. That they not only need to understand that they have a responsibility to conduct themselves appropriately online, but they also need to understand that they use technology to benefit themselves and those around them. Technology is not just a tool for posting pictures and viewing videos, but can be able to create presence that helps them get into colleges, find jobs. So just like with anything, it is a great benefit and a great risk as well. And then these are our major sources that we use for this video. Again, most of them come from internetmatters.org. And then a great thank you for all of you showing up, everyone from in person to the live stream. Again, my name is Mario Nunez. I am the Community Collaboration Project Associate for the Kenneth Young Center. You can email me at marion@kennethyoung.org. We have all our social media links here, primarily CPYD Coalition at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. And a big thank you for everyone showing up tonight. Thank you all.